Okay, so let's dive right in. Today we're talking about something that I think is super relevant for pretty much any business these days,
Uh-huh.
especially if you've got any sort of, customer portal or anything like that.
Yeah.
And that is the sort of the struggle of sending the right automated emails to the right people.
Mm-hmm.
Like you think about it, you've got your regular customers, then you've got your portal users.
Right.
Are you really going to send them the exact same generic email?
Mm.
You know,
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really make sense to do that.
not really.
No.
And so I think a lot of businesses kind of are missing the mark on that. And it's something that, I think can really be improved with a little bit of thought and strategy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, it's really all about personalization these days, isn't it?
totally.
It's about making sure that each user feels like they're getting a tailored experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So today we're looking at a solution that was actually implemented by Kirti.
Okay.
She's a social functional consultant at Tayana Solutions.
Mm-hmm.
And she worked with a client who basically came to her with a problem
Mm-hmm.
and said, hey, you know what? We have these two types of users.
Right.
We've got our standard, like welcome users,
Yeah.
just kind of your average customer.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have our portal users who are, actively engaging with our portal and they're, maybe spending more money with us or they're just more engaged in general.
Right.
And we want to make sure that we're sending them different emails.
Totally makes sense. I mean, they're two distinct groups, right? They have
Oh.
different needs and different expectations.
Yeah.
So why would you communicate with them in the same way?
Totally. So Kirti basically had to figure out how to do this right.
Right.
And so what she did was she created two separate email notifications,
Okay.
like literally two different emails, one for each type of user.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to do that, though, she had to make sure that the system knew which user was which, right?
Yeah.
So she had to get it kind of in the back end and play with some of the settings. And so what she used was what are called generic inquiries and business events.
Interesting. Okay.
So think of generic inquiries as like these filters
Okay.
that can look for specific information about a user.
Yeah.
And then business events are like triggers that launch actions when those filters find a match.
Oh, okay. I see. So it's like a cause and effect kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for example, she set up two different generic inquiries,
Okay.
one to identify the welcome users and one to identify the portal users.
Gotcha.
And so the welcome user generic inquiry that basically just looked at basic user information, like their login, their name, their email when they created their account, that kind of stuff.
Right. So just the standard stuff you would collect for any new user?
Exactly.
Okay.
And it didn't include anything specific to the portal.
Interesting. Okay.
Then for the portal users, she set up a second generic inquiry that collected all that same information, but it also included a field that specifically identified whether the user was a portal user or not.
Oh, that's smart. So that's how she differentiated between the two.
Exactly. That's like the key difference.
Yeah.
So now the system could actually tell them apart.
Okay, cool. So what happens next? How does the system know when to send which email?
Okay, so that's where the business events come in.
Gotcha.
So she created two separate business events,
Mm-hmm.
and she linked each one to a specific generic inquiry.
Okay.
So the welcome user business event that was set to trigger whenever a new user record was created in the system.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, anytime a new user signs up, boom, that event fires.
Makes sense. Right.
So what's the takeaway here?
Well, I think the big lesson is that even small changes to your automated communications can make a huge difference in the user experience.
Totally.
And it all starts with really understanding your different user segments and what they need.
Mhm.
Once you have that understanding, you can start to tailor your communications to each group and move away from those generic one-size-fits-all messages.
Exactly.
It really makes you think about your own business, doesn't it?
It does.
Are you sending the right messages to the right people?
Yeah. Are you just blasting out generic emails to everyone, or are you really taking the time to personalize things?
Because if you're not, you could be missing out on a big opportunity to connect with your users.
Exactly. And if you are sending out generic emails, it might be time to think about a more tailored approach,
Yeah, absolutely.
like the one that Kirti implemented for her client.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not sure how to do that, well, that's where Tayana Solutions comes in. They can help you set up custom email notifications and automate your business processes so that you can send the right message to the right person at the right time.
That's awesome. I think a lot of businesses could benefit from that kind of expertise.
Yeah, for sure. So if you're interested in learning more about how Tayana Solutions can help you, we encourage you to reach out to them.
Yeah, definitely do that and start thinking about how you can create a more personalized experience for your users.
It can really make a difference.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks for joining us today on the Deep Dive.